Hello everyone, my name is K-Hug, you can call me Kyler, and welcome back to the hardcore Minecraft journey. Grab your pickaxe, sharpen your sword, and let's get right into this. For starters, it is time for updates. Yes, lots of updates. First and foremost, the grand water tower that I have since decorated, we built in the last episode. It is now fully fleshed out from start to finish. With a little extra detail. I added in some little concave bits. I actually even made it one block bigger around. From right here, I added some blocks all the way around, added some more mossy bits, and then brought in some of the basalt, the smooth basalt, and some darker palettes with the tough, just to give it some splotches. The thing needs to look like it's kind of rough, and it sure does look pretty rough. Now, since last time, I haven't done much other than the water tower, and that's the one thing I did want to get done, but there's a couple other small updates of quality of life updates that I did since last time. And without further ado, let's head on into the chicken coop, which, bear in mind, it's about to be really loud. But if you make your way up into the chicken coop, if you can hear it, our chickens are producing at a pretty good rate, if I do say so myself. Right up in here in the chicken hopper, as we like to call it, there's about 24 chickens in here, so they are producing chicks at an exponential rate, meaning we are getting free cooked chicken and feathers. Sorry, Feather Fetcher. Now, other than catching up with the chicken farm and finishing the water tower, I did finish another project that needed some much needed attention, and that is the water wheel on the flour mill. Now, this thing is looking great. I just had to do the last little quarter section over here to finish the thing, and I went ahead and also decorated completely around this entire thing, so the water now officially flows from our water tower down the little hole back here where it falls into a stream, and in this stream it makes its way underneath all the terracotta cliffside here and comes out right here where it flows down and powers our flour mill. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to do with this building, so, well, geez, if you got any ideas, please let me know down in the comments below. This was originally going to be our fishing house, and it kind of just turned into a tower. There's not much to see in here. There's definitely not much to see here. And then the only thing at the very top are just some good views of our farms. So I thought about maybe putting our enchanting station in here, but I also don't want to move it because it is really helpful where it's at, being attached to the base. That may be getting moved. You know what? We might move that because we also come through here from the zombie farm with all of our XP to go home to do all the enchanting. So maybe coming up a tower is just as easy as anything. Let's head on back down for a few more updates. Probably the most exciting update I have is in this box right here. I have since last time gone and got more clay and cooked as many bricks as humanly possible to get us enough bricks to go through, or to follow through with the build that we have coming along, which is that tower right there. I didn't have any bricks and or granite to finish this, and so I went ahead and got a bunch of granite and a bunch of clay, and we are prepared to finish that in today's episode. But I got one more surprise, and that is down in our industrial district. Splash down, and here it is. Now you may be wondering, oh, what's that weird looking hole, K-Hug? What's the scaffolding, K-Hug? What's the giant pit you built, K-Hug? Well, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I've fallen into the pit. I don't know how we get back out of here. Well, mistakes have been made. Can you put scaffolding in water? Perfect. All right, we're gonna have to scaffold our way out of here, I guess, for the time being, but that was not what I was intending to showing you. What I was trying to reveal is that this weird looking contraption is my best attempt at a tree farm. I need a ton of wood, and I've harvested hundreds of trees, so I've attempted to do what I think is a functional tree farm. Now, I don't have any bone meal. I think that's going to be something else we need to also do in the near future, is find ourselves a skeleton farm so we can go ahead and make a bone meal farm. We can also use the moss and stuff and do a bunch of redstone bits, but I don't have enough redstone to make those contraptions. So what I resorted to is a good old-fashioned tree farm. And quite frankly, I watched a bunch of videos on this and I still do not understand how it works. But let's go ahead and give you a tour anyways. So if we make our way down this spooky staircase, and we'll do it very carefully, hopefully we can get back up fast enough to see what happens, but when this trapdoor updates, technically the scaffold is held up by that scaffold on that block. And so it updates whether this is a hanging scaffold by building the bottom. It'll put the net on the bottom, which updates the one way at the top, which is going to activate a redstone contraption that should, if I did it right, duplicate TNT, and it should fall there and go kaboom. But what that is going to function for is we should be able to plant trees now right on this block from somewhere safely. Hopefully from here we can plant trees, bone meal them by right clicking, left clicking, and then the TNT should fall and kaboom. Now I do know this is going to need a redstone clock, which I have not installed, and quite frankly, I also have no idea how to do that either. But all in all, the build is kind of coming along, except for the giant hole in the wall. I think my parameter, my limits here weren't accurate, and I'm really curious when a tree grows and this starts dropping on top of trees. I don't know what's going to happen. There's potential that this whole thing is going to just be completely ruined, or it's going to work great. And hopefully it's the latter. All right, we slept the nightmares away, and I have an inventory full of dirt, and that's going to lead me straight into the first project that I want to get underway. And quite frankly, this is completely related to that guy right there. We do not give Neil as much attention as he deserves. Good morning, Neil. And so what I want to do is create a little riding arena or kind of a pasture thing in this big open area here, which that means we have to dig out all of the stone and replace it with dirt. Yeah, you heard me. We're going to dig this whole thing out just to replace it with dirt. More silly terraforming ideas that I have, but I think it would be weird if I just put dirt on top because of this edge, so I really want to shade this down, and I want it to not be, if I go one more up, it's starting to really interact with this build, and I don't want it to. I want it to be kind of independent, so what I'm going to have to do is break out all these iron picks that I just built, and we're going to mine out all of the stone. So let's jump right in to a little time lapse. Alright, well, I grossly underestimated the amount of pickaxes that this was going to take. Meaning, I may go ahead, even though I don't have a ton, I might make one more diamond pickaxe, take it upstairs, and see if we can get like an efficiency enchant to make this process go just a little bit smoother. So let's see what we can get from the enchanting table. Efficiency 4, not too shabby, and unbreaking. This will be the perfect pick for us to take and do some more digging. And just like that, the whole area is officially cleaned out, which means the next step is going to be replacing all of it with dirt. Now, I did make a mistake and I made too much too much coarse dirt, which means we may not have enough of the regular dirt in order to fill this whole thing back in. That's a whoopsie daisy on my part, but the best thing we could do is just go back to another time lapse right away and go ahead and dirt over all of this exposed stone. This might be a really bad time to mention, but I am already out of grass, or dirt and grass. I'm out of both, which means I'm gonna have to go get a few more resources before we can finish this project. But this is as good a time as any for us to go ahead and stop and outline the new riding arena for Neil. I want to have plenty of space for us to be able to ride Neil around in circles and maybe even have some obstacles or barriers to practice our jumping skills, if you will. And to do that, I think we just want like a little 3-wide pathway for us to ride him on. We're going to have some obstacles scattered throughout, and then we'll have a little open area in the middle that maybe even him and some buddies in the near future can just frolic between training sessions. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to just place a block where we think this is going to start. The center looks like it's here, and I don't know how long this is going to be, but for sure it's going to be like 3 wide in the center, plus a barrier block, and then another 3, and then the outside wall roughly there. So this is the general outline of Neil's new training facility. Now, the good thing is we can fill the inside in because it's all going to be this coarse dirt because it's been trampled on. So let's go ahead and just fill this arena in real quick, and then we can get back to doing the arena itself, and then I'll have to go get some more dirt between now and the end of this to fill in the outer bits. Just like that, Neil's arena is finally complete. Almost. We've got a lot of decor to do and a lot of other attributes to add to this build, but so far it's looking pretty good. And this should be plenty of space to get him in here and run him a few laps, practice our jumps, and give him some good and much needed exercise. So next steps now are going to be for us to go get a bunch of little bits and bobbles, including fences and trapdoors and maybe even some anvils. I know that may sound odd, but I think anvils will look pretty good in this build. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch of those items and let's get to decorating. I really think I might have underestimated the price of an anvil. This is so expensive, but I want a bunch of these because I think these are going to make really cool rails. And oh my goodness, all that work for 8 anvils for all the iron I just spent? I think I just spent like 8 stacks of iron. Well, I guess we'll just keep going until we've got enough. All right, well, I think I have the pieces that we need. So first and foremost, let's take that gate out. And this is where the entrance to the pen is gonna be. We'll slap some gates on there. And now we can open up a few of these gates just to let the horses in and out. Make a little bit of a decorative entrance. I think keeping the same deep slate tiles from this building will help kind of tie everything together. I know we're using a different log type. We've used spruce on all the buildings, but I thought this would look best with the trapdoors right on top. I placed a couple up here to give it a look, and yes, those colors blend together really nicely. Actually, even the grains and the wood even seem to, well, some of these seem to line up, which is excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few of these on top. Now, here's an odd one. It's in a corner. We could go either way. Do we go to the left or do we go straight with the front? Let's keep the front for these two. And then down the sides, we'll switch to a different pattern like this. Now, this is where things are going to get a little interesting. What I want to do is add in some gates under here. And then I want to, if we've got enough, I want to trap door these on the back side, just like this, all the way along the edges, just to give it some definition. If you put the trapdoors on top, I think the horses might even be able to escape, if I remember right. So this will help prevent that from happening on the inside, but we can also have a little bit of decoration on the outside, because I know if we put the trapdoors on the inside like that, they definitely will be able to escape. I'm not sure if the horses can do this or not. It'll be interesting to find out, but I know they can't get on top of these fence posts, so that's perfect. And now we can continue the same aesthetic on this side as well. We'll put another little archway on this side, and then all the way down the length of this side. All right, with the primary perimeters done, it's now time to line up where we want the center to be, and that's where these anvils come in, and I'm gonna have to be a little sparing with these because these are so expensive. I know we have an iron farm, but I don't want to burn all my iron just on some silly horse arena. And what I want to do is, which way did that face? That's perfect, actually. I like the way that looks. So what I would like to do is put some rails up 3 blocks from here and 3 blocks from this side. Like so. That's so not right. Like so. That gives us a 3-block gap in the middle, and this will just line the edges. Oh my goodness, that's a horrendous sound. This will line the edges on both sides, and then I'll have to figure out how to fill in the end bits. But let me go ahead and place these because I don't want you to have to listen to it because it is so annoying. Everything is looking great, and now it's time to go ahead and decorate a little entrance here on both sides. Now this side won't be an entrance, but I think it's going to be nice to have a little area here just to make the whole arena kind of balance. And with this, we are going to try to use some stairs. If I can achieve, there we go. A good jump. Nope. And nope. There we go. Just like so. And maybe we even bring another layer up. And I'm not gonna be able to reach this one, of course. Do I have some scaffolding? I do. And we can bring up the little archways to meet right here in the middle, and maybe even, hold on, let's back this off a little bit. Let's flatten this archway out. I think we put one of these in here, and then I want there to be a full block in the center. And I just wanted to do that because I want to bring these trapdoors in for one last little bit of decor. One on top and one on both sides, and then hopefully we can get one underneath as well. If I can put that one there and like that. So that makes a full circle around that, and I could even put some glowstone in there as a light source, but I think this looks pretty good. Oh, and maybe even new thoughts. Maybe we even put a trapdoor out the side. Is that too much? Is that too much trapdoor? Is that too much going on here? I think I like it. I think that looks good. We'll have to put some doors across here. Actually, we'll just gate this side off. Perfect. On to the next. Another happy entrance done. The next thing we have to work on is these little barriers, the barricades that he's going to be jumping over. And I think something as simple as some upside down stairs, maybe a slab, and then we could leave it like that. I've got some signs. I think these will add good detail in some places, so maybe this is a good place to go ahead and snap some signs on like that. Just kind of give it a little extra texture. Gives it a little more of an effect. It has kind of an edge on it, and then we'll do the same thing on the other jump right here. A stair and a stair. And add our signs in on both sides. Perfect. Now let's go see if we can solve our dirt crisis. So candidly, I wanted to take this time and I decided to come get some dirt over here in the village to double down on our efforts. What I would like to do is bring a couple of these guys safely back to base with me in order to... Now, okay, we're gonna talk real quick. I said I wouldn't do a villager breeder and break Minecraft by just being able to trade for all the good looty and booty and getting a bunch of diamond stuff for quite literally free at 99. Now, we're not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna use these guys for just specific things like, well, if you haven't guessed it already, mending would be fantastic. So without one of these guys, I have no way of getting mending very easily. Now we could fish for it, but the random loot roll is quite difficult to get. So my thoughts are, if we get a couple of these guys, we'll take them back and we'll store you guys in we'll give you a safe new home. You want nothing to do with that, I understood. We'll give them a safe new home for temporarily, and then we're gonna build ourselves a little villager hall where we're gonna have just minimal trades so we can at least make this world a little more user-friendly. And you, sir, are not useful, so carry on. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for villagers to wake up and go about the day, I thought this is a great place to come because we can also get as much dirt as we could possibly want. And there is a farmer creeping over my shoulder. Hello, friend. Do you want to go see a new home? Wait, do I have a boat? Oh, well, this is a problem. I got to get a boat. So stay safe and stay near. I'll be back. Now let's go get some dirt. All right, and just like that, the sun is beginning to set, and we have a full boat over here of dirt and other miscellaneous blocks, and a few more in my inventory as well. And then we also had some willing participants show up. Are you willing? Are you a participant? To come with us over to our world, where we are going to set up a little miniature breeding or villager breeder and a trading center. So be on the lookout for that here sometime soon. Oh my goodness. What have I done? Are you guys offended by this? I do apologize. If it makes you feel any better, it's a nitwit. It's not one of your fellow crafty boys. So let's go ahead and tie you guys up. Wow, this sounds horrendous. I have heads in my inventory and I'm tying them up. I promise I'm a good person. Boat number 1, that's not how you do that. Villager number, wait. How do I? I thought I could lasso a boat. Can you not lasso the boat? Oh boy. Well, looks like it's going to be a process of me going back and forth to the island and back, then 3 different adventures. So let me go ahead and get moved, and then we can get back to building Neil's Arena. Okay, and we're making our final approach with our luggage of dirt, and our 2 villagers are now over here in our humble little dirt home. Now, before you say anything, they said the accommodations were great, so hush. But without further ado, I think we're gonna park right here. It's the nearest place we have. You know what? We should really build a dock somewhere. I think this trail might come down. Maybe we'll put a little dock out here so we can unload our boats easier. But we've got enough dirt here to go ahead and continue with our plans. And maybe we'll even put some of this stuff away so we've got some extra space for dirt. I don't think we'll need this much dirt, but I'm gonna grab as much as possible. I think that'll do it. Now let's head up top and get to greening up Neil's pin. And bam, just like that, we are officially complete with the terraforming around the arena, the horse arena here. But we do have some other details I would like to do. Now, eventually, I think we'll come down below here, maybe not right there specifically, but we're gonna taper this dirt out into another layer here, and then slowly transition from regular dirt into maybe the coarse dirt, which I do have some blocks. So maybe we can give this a little gander real quickly. Let me switch my inventory around here. I think what we can do is we can throw some of these coarse dirt blocks in on the perimeters of the edge of this, and then as the grass grows around, it'll taper into dirt and then just be into barren stone. I think that's going to be the best way to make a transition between dirt and stone. And if you have any other ideas, I am all ears. But I'm going to go ahead and get those things out of the way, do a little bit more terraforming, a little bit more terraining, and then we'll be back to show you the finished arena. I am officially whoa, a double rainbow. Will you check that out? Well, that's a good sign, because I also have good information. I'm officially done with the terraforming around the new arena here, and I want to give a quick shout out to this, because this is something new I wanted to try, because not often do I find myself trying to transition between grass into dirt into stone. But I think this worked out really well. Now, it's really hard to see, but in some places, the grass will kind of grow throughout here, but you'll see that there's coarse dirt in little places here where that will be barren of grass, and then it transforms kind of because of, if you look at the textures, there's some gravel textures in the coarse dirt. So it'll transition from the grass to the coarse dirt to the gravel, and then down into an andesite before it's turning into stone, because I don't plan on terraforming this entire area. Hopefully, if I ever decide that's a good idea, stop me. But I think this is all going to actually look pretty well pretty good when it all grows in. So this is more of a little waiting game. And in the meantime, we, I think, are due for a little building for ourselves. Yeah, I've got some ideas, some other buildings I want to do. Now, we do need to finish this guy here. I don't think this one's as pressing as I thought it was going to be when I originally started building it. I would like to get it done. I think this is, so I know the interior here is going to be our super smelter. It is an up and down pathway to the underground industrial mine we have down here where our iron farm's at. But what I wanted to do in here is maybe either an automatic bamboo farm up top or maybe a kelp farm, something to use as a fuel source. Now, there's obviously way more efficient fuel sources. Like I could actually, you know what? Maybe we save this space for when we get dripstone and we create a dripstone lava farm up here. And then if we have any sort of super smelter situation, we'll be able just to transport our items up here and feed them with lava buckets. So with all that said, the thing that I want to focus on today is something that we haven't done in quite some time. And that is, I have since long forgotten that our favorite way of getting XP and enchanted books was fishing. And I still have Rodney here who has Mending, Unbreaking, and Luck of a C1, but I would like to get some better fishing gear, which is going to require us to have a little dedicated fishing house. And originally that was going to be part of the flour mill down here, or the wheat mill. But I think what I want to do is I want to build some sort of structure off in that early direction attached to the mill. So when we run down the back path, right around over here, we can make our way down this path, and instead of going into the fishing tower, which used to be the fishing tower, which is now I don't know. I think it'll become the enchanting tower in the end. I really am liking the idea of putting that in the top of this tower. But we'll have a little pathwork over here where we can get into... Hello, friends. We'll get into a little fishing hut here, accessible from this side via a locked door so mobs don't come in, or you come down here and we can walk like along the dock edge here to get to this little building. And hopefully the building doesn't stick too far out. I still want to be able to traverse this in the future. I think we're going to use this, and we might even have... There's a big tunnel over there, and I'm thinking about having some sort of boating network that allows us to go all the way to the other side of this mountain. But that is definitely a future me problem. So while we wait for Neil's arena to grow up so we can go back and revegetate it, we got to add some of the flowers and the bushes on the inside. Excuse me, that was close. I want to go ahead and start on this fishing hut. So I think, again, we're using the same block palette as everything else. And I've got plenty of bricks that I have... Oh my goodness, I forgot we still hold the heads of the nitwits. I don't even know... Is this like a... Is this an appropriate box for heads of villagers inside the mob box? I feel that's inappropriate, and I feel we shouldn't put them on display, but I really, really, really want to stick one on a wall somewhere. I mean, he matches the aesthetic. He blends in so well with the granite. I should probably feel bad about this. But I'm going to go ahead and use the other one for decoration as well. I think that's a quite of a cool... Oh gosh, he's staring. Every time I come in this door... Hold on, are you ready? Hello, sir. So distractions aside, I want to decide a good palette of blocks for this. And I've thought about a couple different things. I want to use the spruce like we've been using for the outskirts of everything else. So, I mean, we definitely need some spruce. But I was really considering that maybe we do some sort of half birch, half oak. Does that sound weird? I think that could really make a pretty cool aesthetic as a finished product, but I just don't even know where to start if I'm being completely transparent. I think for now, we're going to need to just make a bunch of these block types in slabs and stairs and stripped logs. And then we're also going to need probably a ton more of these brick nature blocks. And with that also comes the terracotta. And last but not least, our granites and smooth granites that we can find within this box. Oh man, we're going to run out of inventory space real fast. Let's see if we can grab like a full stack of everything to get us started. So that should be a pretty good start. Let's go ahead and run down there. I've got an extra chest here. Let's place a chest down with all these items, and then we'll come back up for the rest of it because I think we're going to need some more. All right, now this chest of goodies should be enough to get us at least partially the way through the build. And I got a feeling that that boat right there is going to cause us a lot of problems. I really wish I would have moved these guys much farther away. That is such a bummer. Maybe I can get the back guy out and then we can shift the boat down the stream a little bit. But if they don't become a problem, that's good. If not, we're going to have to move them. But the first thing I want to do is start off by just dimensioning out how big this fishing shack's going to be. And I think... How wide is this tower? The tower is about 9 blocks wide, and so I want to come out maybe like 11 or 12 or so. And the first thing you need to do with the little fishing house like this is we got to set our foundation posts. So what I want to do is I want to go out here, and we're going to set where these foundation posts come up on each one of these corners. Now, if that's the corner of one side, oh yeah. The other corner is going to be right there, which means that guy is going to be a problem. Okay. Oh, nope, he could definitely see us. He could definitely see us. I wonder, can I go underneath? Nope, that's not gonna work either. That's not the answer. So, with this being a significant problem, we may have to reconsider the building of this project. I don't know, how are we gonna move those guys? The problem is I can't kill that guy because then we're gonna have a raid, and I really don't want to have to deal with one of those right now. Maybe let's go get a quick bow and take this back guy out, and then we're just going to suffer the blows, and we'll jump in this boat with this other guy, and we'll sail him away a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and move these guys. I'm sure this will go great. Yep. One more hit. Okay. He shot. Let's move him. Oh, as long as you move, they kind of suck at shooting. Okay, stay there and be good. Okay, I spent the time redesigning the layout here. It is now 1 block shorter than the tower itself, so it kind of has a little overhang on both sides. and the length is still the same. And I went ahead and added this perimeter board because this is where our walls are going to sit. So without further ado, it's time to just start fleshing out the general shape of our little fishing hovel. And now with one side of the roof complete, we can now kind of get a general idea what this building is going to look like. Now it's pretty blank, so I think what I would like to do is go back and maybe punch in a little awning in here, a little peak facing out in our direction. So let's go ahead and add that in now, and then we have to go around the other side and replicate everything we did all over again. Okay, so I added a few more features. I terraformed this back just a little bit, but I extended out this little balcony bit here, or the overhang. And then I was able to put some fence in here to give it just a little more detail. And then now we got ourselves a nice little walkway on the front here. And I think we might even have one more lantern that's looking for a home, and that can hang right next to this window. Actually, I may offset this. Let's offset it one block, and I'm only doing this like this so I can add some shutters on this window at a later point in time. But I think that's kind of coming together quite nicely. Now, this build does look, compared to all the detail and everything else, it is kind of lacking. Now, I think some vines growing up this, even like maybe a little fish sign hanging off the end, and then we got the dock on the other side. But I think so far, I'm liking the way this is coming along. I might also, you know what, this guy right here needs to find a new home. So let's go ahead and do that, and that kind of breaks up this pathway a little bit. I want it to kind of blend into the features of a land like this. So I like the way this looks. I'm really liking the way this is turning out. But we've officially got one side done, which means we've got some work to do in here and an entire other side to get done. Let's get right into it. And just like that, the other side is now complete. Well, I say just like that. These things are super time consuming when it comes to detailing smaller scale builds, but I am happy with the way this has come out, and I do kind of like the two-tone effect. I wish this one maybe had a couple more oak wood in there just to break apart a little piece here, but I think I'm happy with it for the time being. Now, we need to connect this walkway up and around and across here, add in some of the railings and a few more details. Oh, and that lantern I totally forgot. And then I think we're ready to do the final details, or this build is officially done and we can go back to doing some fishing. All right, well now with some of the finishing touches, including some buttons and some signs and some other pathwork and rails and everything else you see here, this is a 90% finished product. I think we need to add a little greenery, touch up underneath the belly of the fishing house, but all in all, I am pretty proud of how this thing has turned out. We've also got to do the complete interior, but this is going to be nothing more than just a place to store our treasures that we pull in with Rodney. We'll be able to come out the back door here, cast a line, and be safe from any sort of mobs. Maybe skeletons might be an issue if they're standing over in this direction, but I don't think anybody should be able to get to us, and if it is a problem, we can just move from this position down over the hill and use the corner of the original dock that we had built long ago when this was going to be our little fishing tower. The day's a little gloomy, but I want to go ahead and let's go check out Neil's riding arena and see if the grass has begun to grow so we can take him for a little test ride. We're also out of food, so we're going to quit. Excuse me, we have an escapee? Sir? Anyways, let's go ahead and check out how our chicken farm is doing. Ooh, almost a full stack of food. We were running out of steak, so this is absolutely perfect. And now let's continue what we were doing and head over to the riding arena. Hopefully the grass has... That's as far as it's gotten? Are you kidding me? Well, we've got a long ways to go, it looks like, but the rest of the grass seems like it's grown up quite nicely. It's almost all the way around. It's all the way to here. And on this side, it is, yeah, I would say it's about 80% done. So, with that said, I think it is a good time for us to get Rodney out. I also forgot that we've got to finish the packed dirt around here. Let's finish the packed dirt. We'll have to continue to wait for the grass to populate, but I want to go ahead and give him a little test ride around the jumping arena. Don't mind the crime scene over there. I had nothing to do with it. A little packed dirt over here, a little bit over there. Just kind of spreading it throughout. Everything is looking good. Let's go grab Neil. Neil, thank you for your patience. I'm gonna ask you to step right this way, sir. Oh, I forgot how fast this guy was. All right. And here we go, Neil, into the riding arena. And a jump. Okay, we failed that one miserably. And a jump. There we go. Practicing our horse skills. Okay, that one is a little tricky. We got this one figured out. There we go. And now, okay. We apparently need to do a little more practicing than we originally thought. Neil, there we go. Than we originally thought. All right, Neil. Thank you for that practice one. We will do better in the future. You just rest up. I'll bring you some food. And then we'll try it again when the sun's shining. Or, oh, look at that. You're self-eating. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to bother you. This is a grade A example of what happens when you try to escape. Take note, sir. There is one last hidden surprise that I wanted to go touch on before we get out of here today, because I'm not sure if I touched on it before, but if we make our way up into the new and improved water tower, this is the space that we are left with. Now, I've been considering different farms to put into this water tower so that the output falls out the water tower, it continues down the stream, and we can pick up in the fishing house or wherever we decide to put the loot chest for this. Now, I considered a kelp farm, but if I remember right, those things are pretty large because you'd have flowing water, and I considered a bamboo farm, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys to give me some ideas of what would be appropriate to put into our water tower automatic farm. Leave that down in the description below. All right, and as the sun begins to rise on the last day of the next episode of our hardcore survival series, I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for joining me on this thrilling journey. Your support, encouragement, and camaraderie mean the world to me. So go ahead, if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like and share with your friends. We've got a lot done in this episode, from terraforming and building the new horse and donkey riding arena to the new fishing hut where we can go ahead and continue our adventures at Grand Treasure, to even bring 2 new members over from the village to hopefully build the start of a new villager trading center. We've accomplished quite a bit in this episode, and I'm quite proud of how this world is coming along together. The water tower as well from the previous episode. These new modifications made this water tower just look absolutely phenomenal. So don't forget to leave some ideas down below in the comments of what this should be used for. Whether it be a kelp farm, a bamboo farm, or something as simple as just a place for the aesthetic quality. So without further ado, until next time, stay crafty, stay courageous, and stay beautiful. Goodbye.